Hey guys, welcome to Tropical Flower Gardening. I'm Dr. Manisha. Guys, today's video is all about the Anthurium plants and I'll be talking about how to grow this plant, how to get more flowers and how to make new plants from your existing plant. People sometimes face problems in growing this plant and have lots of doubt about how to grow it. Growing them in your garden can be a challenge if you don't provide the right growing conditions. Anthurium is quite an expensive plant, and after buying such an expensive plant, if it doesn't grow well and doesn't flower, it can be so disappointing. Anthuriums are actually quite easy to grow if you provide the required key elements. I have been growing this plant in my garden for the last 6 years or so without any problems. In fact, I have made many saplings of this plant and given to my friends. So without further ado, let's start this video with some general information about this plant. Anthuriums are native to America and the Caribbean. It is a much loved and a popular indoor flowering plant and is also known by names like flamingo flowers, flamingo lily, lace leaf and some other names. Due to its exotic and long-lasting flowers, these flowers are used in flower arrangements and in flower decorations. The flowers are exotic and long-lasting, lasting for 6 to 8 weeks. The flowers are actually modified leaves called spathe and they come in different colors like red, white, pink and also in shades of yellow, green, burgundy, lilac. At the center you will see a structure called spadix which is made up of multiple tiny true flowers. So what I am showing here in this clip is the center, a central structure called spadix which is made up of multiple true flowers. The leaves of this plant are glossy, heart-shaped and look quite ornamental. The ideal growing conditions for growing this plant are exactly what is found in the tropical region. So it does well in a warm, humid climate with plenty of indirect bright sunlight. The soil needs to be loose, porous, well draining and organically rich. You can add sand, peat moss or orchid potting mix to your garden soil along with some vermicompost. Water this plant carefully. Water when you find the topsoil dry. Overwatering can result in root rot and this plant is quite prone to root rot. Hence exercise caution while watering this plant. It does not tolerate soggy soil, so ensure that your pot has adequate drainage holes. Grow it in indirect bright sunlight, taking care not to expose it to direct sunlight. Exposure to direct sunlight will result in burning of leaves. If you are growing it in a container, do keep the container near a window or balcony in such a way that it gets indirect bright sunlight throughout the day. If you are planning to grow it in the ground, grow it under a tree or in such a way that it is protected from direct sunlight as well as from direct rain. You can give any locally available organic fertilizer to this plant every 2-3 months, like you can give vermicompost, neem cake powder, compost, bone meal, fish meal, seaweed fertilizer or even cow dung manure. In dry climate, you will have to mist the leaves because that will provide the necessary humidity for a healthy growth of this plant. Given the right growing conditions, it will bloom repeatedly throughout the year. This plant does not require much maintenance. Just remove the dry and damaged leaves from the plant from time to time. Just like how I am doing it, you can see the dry leaf is being chopped off right from the bottom. It is a moderately fast growing plant which can get root bound in 2 to 3 years and then you will have to move it to a bigger pot. And when you do so, you can divide it into 2 or more plants. And the plant that you can see in this clip is the plant which I got when I divided the mother plant, and that's how I got the small plant. And now I'll show you how to make new saplings from your existing plant. So the first method is from new suckers which are growing near the plant. All you need to do is gently remove the suckers from the base of the plant when you see about 3 leaves or so. So in this clip, the sucker is being separated and removed from the mother plant. So you can see I'm holding the sucker and it is looking quite healthy, and this sucker now I'll be putting it in a new pot. And from the same plant there is one more sucker, one more small sucker which is seen growing from the base of the plant, and see how easily it is coming out. I'm gently removing it. So from one plant I have got 2 suckers. Another method of propagation is from aerial roots. Anthurium has these aerial roots, and all you need to do is just cut them off and put them in the soil. So that's exactly what I'll be doing. These aerial roots are being cut off. This is how they look, and then I'll be just putting them in the soil, covering it with soil in a pot, and this way I'll be getting a new plant. So from one mother plant I'll be getting 3 new plants. This one is the first sucker, this one is the second sucker, and this one is from the aerial root. And now both the suckers as well as the aerial roots are being put in different pot, and then they will be covered with soil, and after that they'll be watered, and then I'll be keeping all the 3 pots in shade for about 15 days until they settle down well in the new pot. Propagation of Anthurium can also be done from seeds and from stem cutting, although I have never tried these myself. Anthuriums can get affected by pests like mealybugs, aphids, spider mites, scale and whiteflies. You can treat them by spraying neem oil and liquid soap spray. My plants have been free from pests and disease so far, probably because I use only organic fertilizers which keep my plants healthy. If your plant is not growing well and not flowering well, please check if your soil is loose and well draining. Please make sure that you're not overwatering. Also ensure that you're not exposing your plant to direct sunlight, and also ensure that your plant is getting sufficient bright indirect sunlight. Also, don't forget to look for pests and disease, and if you find them, treat them. If all the growing conditions are met and if your plant is still not flowering, you can give bone meal powder as it boosts flowering. So guys, I hope I was able to give you all the details about how to grow this exotic dazzling beauty in your garden. Please post your comments, like and share this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care and happy gardening.